Hello again, Steve here. I just learned a little something this morning that I wanted to share. Oh, there's a rabbit going by. A little bit of a distraction. Anyway, hope you were able to see that. I was out on a run this morning. Went on about 16K, something like that. And all of a sudden there was these two ladies just barreled past me. Like, they were just going way faster than me. So I just thought I'd observe what they're doing. Why is it that they could run? I mean, they're in better shape than I am, for sure. But what is it they were doing different about the way they run, their style of run? And I started to emulate their style of run. And lo and behold, I was able to keep up with them without a whole lot of extra effort. On a distance, mind you, but I was able to hold my own. And the difference that they were doing, in terms of the way I was doing, was that they had a higher cadence. A higher cadence. As you know, cadence is basically like frequency or rhythm of pace, right? And it reminded me of how my brother, who was, two of my brothers actually, they cycled from the west coast to the east coast of North America with absolutely no fanfare, and I think Canadian Tire bicycles a number of years ago. And one of the things one of my brothers was telling me was that he upped his cadence. He learned that he's better off with higher reps on his cycles with lower load. He was faster that way and it was easier for him. And that kind of makes sense on endurance exercises because, you know, anybody who's gone to the gym realizes that the low reps, or the high reps, low load, is sort of more of an endurance training, whereas the high load, short reps is the strength training. And of course, long distance running is basically endurance, right? So what I found was that by taking shorter steps, quicker steps, as they were doing, I was able to keep up with them. But not only that, it changed up the style, right? There's nothing really wrong with the way I was doing longer strides, necessarily, but it certainly changed things up and gave me some variety. But the other thing too that I noticed with running, if there's long strides, if potentially you land a little bit ahead of your body, there's a reverse tangent of thrust, which can be is obviously detrimental. It's a heavier load on your joints and it pushes you backwards a bit. Whereas shorter steps, more rapid, they land underneath you and there's no reverse tangent on the thrust, which is valuable. So I just wanted to share that, and I think it relates too in terms of lots of other things in our lives. I did a presentation which I talked about a few days ago to a Toastmasters group where I talked about focusing on a few things, systematizing them, and being persistent. So the frequency at which we do things, the actuality, the action that we take, the more frequent we do it, the more effective we are. And I think that is true to an extent where we reach a balance of now it's too frequent or overloading ourselves. So if a guy was to try to run with just their feet just going like this, then it would be ineffective because of the load of having to swing your legs back and forth. But there seems to be probably an optimal point. And that's the case with many things in our lives, the frequency that we do things to be effective. So to be aware of that and to try to fine tune to a point where what we're doing is frequent enough that we get going forward effectively, but not too frequently that we overload ourselves. So I just wanted to share that, the value of cadence in our running, in our cycling, and in everything that we do in life, to be able to fine tune and be observant in ourselves and to realize what is optimal. So, and when we find what is optimal, it certainly helps us with our quality of life because we're just more effective at getting what we want done. Hope this is helpful. Steve here again. I'll talk again soon.